As South Africa faces increasing pressure on its food systems, from climate change and extreme weather to global instability, the role of agricultural research has never been more critical. To give us a sense of how the country's national food basket and support for farmers can be safeguarded, let's bring in the Agricultural Research Council's President and CEO, Dr. Litha Magingxa. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. As we try and get a balancing act, from your perspective, why is the work of the Agricultural Research Council especially critical at this moment in South Africa's history?
Thank you very much, Mpo, and good afternoon to you and the viewers at home. I think food security has shown us that it is more than just about food. It contributes to a lot of social objectives that we want to achieve. It brings stability, it contributes to economic development, and the work, therefore, of the Agricultural Research Council in ensuring and supporting the country's efforts to be better food secure has never been more crucial, given where we are. And it is, of course, encouraging that the latest figures, whether you look globally in terms of the Global Food Security Index, there is a slight uptick when you look at South Africa's performance, but also in terms of our local South African Food Security Index, it is encouraging that we are seeing some improvement, which means the work that we are all doing, the different partners that are converging around bringing solutions towards a more food secure South Africa are indeed beginning to bear fruits.
With just days before Christmas Day, where families will sit and gather and enjoy a feast, we're well aware that meat prices are increasing significantly, driven mainly by the ongoing foot and mouth disease outbreak, which disrupted beef supplies, leading to double-digit annual inflation. So when one refers to safeguarding the national food basket, what does that practically mean in terms of your current research priorities?
So I think you've touched on a very important element of the food security environment in the country when we consider that. And particularly because the commodities that you've talked about, the beef and other red meats that whose prices have really spiked up, is as a result of exactly some of the work that is now occupying the rest of the sector, which is around biosecurity. The foot and mouth disease has actually wreaked havoc in the country, and it's part of the main issues that are affecting the prices that we are seeing, spiking. And of course, in terms of the households, who in most cases, as we know, usually have this time, one of the main features of the feast for the Christmas period would be around some meat, and this has become now extremely expensive. And so the work that we are doing in terms of making sure that we improve the biosecurity of the country, and this is actually one of the sectoral priorities that the minister tabled right at the beginning when we were developing the strategy, and us as the ARC aligned ourselves with that sectoral strategy, and we also have biosecurity as one of our top priorities. So the measures and the research that we continue to get involved in actually assists us to be able to service that imperative, working, of course, together with several partners, as the work of this nature really is not something that you can do alone.
We know, for one, that climate change is already affecting rainfall patterns. I mean, we can see this past weekend, and just measuring the impact in provinces like KwaZulu-Natal, soil health, crop yields. What are some of the most impactful innovations the ARC is developing to help farmers adapt to these changes?
Yeah, I think some of the work that us and a whole lot of other experts that are working in this area that are involved in. First of all, there are two main responses to climate change. It's of course the mitigation strategies as well as adaptation strategies. So from our perspective, we are looking very much into developing from a crop side, for instance. How do we develop cultivars that are going to withstand some of the impact of the changing climate, the increasing intensity of extreme weather events. So whether we're talking about developing of those cultivars that are going to respond, which we have, occupied ourselves primarily with doing, and one of those outputs from that work, we actually embarked on an exercise with a number of African countries and institutions and developed drought-tolerant maize varieties that also are resistant to pests and diseases. And that is just one of the examples. And that is very crucial for farmers because, you have to make sure then that these technologies are available. The other part of the work that we are very much involved in is, of course, from a livestock perspective, we are looking at a number of production strategies, understanding even some of the indigenous breeds where some of the small-scale farmers actually rely on. How do they, adapt to the changing climate? How do we assist with animal herd improvement, the quality of the meat? How do we, assist them to be able to access markets, etc.? So it's a whole range of initiatives. We have a very big project which we call Gauna Fatsoya Dikgomo, which is an animal herd improvement scheme where we work with developing farmers, and at any given time we'll have about 8,000 or even more farmers that are involved in this scheme, where we work closely with them in helping them to access the technologies that we develop as the Agricultural Research Council.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, that was Agricultural Research Council's President and CEO, Dr. Litha Magingxa. They're speaking to some of the innovations and research around protecting the country's food basket.